Hiya!
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 25th of April, 2019, and this is episode 342. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, we haven't had any new people introduce themselves in several weeks now. If somebody is not a member of our group, what should they do? Or if they're a member and they haven't introduced themselves, what should they do?
You should join our group on Ravelry and introduce yourself in our introduction thread, because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and be able to participate in our owls and giveaways.
That's right. Well, we have quite a bit to talk about today, including prize winners for the Lolo by Barmaids giveaway. And I got a mystery box in the post today.
Oh.
Dammy has not even seen it. It actually came yesterday, but we were with you, and so the Dr. Hubs went down to the apartment office and picked it up because it's not safe to leave packages on our doorstep because people have been stealing parcels. So, yeah. But we have quite a bit to talk about, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what is on our needles.
So what is on your needles, Dammy?
I haven't had time to work on my mitts.
Okay, what have you been doing in design class?
I made a thing to demonstrate rhythm and color and balance, and you'll see it in GGK Crafty Pad.
Yeah, so this is the one we talked about last week that you were having to do. Mm-hmm. And I think it turned out amazingly. It looks like a patchwork quilt behind in the background of it. Mm. It was quite funny, though, because you posted it yesterday on the Instagram, and I hit the translation button and then read it to the Dr. Hubs, and we were both cracking up because there were portions of it that made absolutely no sense.
They translated it wrong?
Yeah, it just like, because it like mixed words around or, different. I mean, we got the gist of what it was, but it was just really funny because we were like, yeah. Translate.
Now I want to see what it translates as.
It was pretty funny. So, because you were inspired, you should tell them what you were inspired by to draw.
Les Mis.
What about Les Mis?
What?
What about Les Mis?
The bishop's silver candlesticks that he gives Jean Valjean. I named it Les Flambeaux de Jean de Lévesque, the bishop's silver candlesticks.
Cool. And you haven't gotten it back graded yet, have you?
No, and I won't get it probably for a couple of weeks.
Okay. All righty. But you got one back yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
But his comment was funny. What was his comment?
It was like, wow, that's a lot of them, and they're pretty consistent.
You had to do the same thing over and over.
Yeah, to make a grid and then draw a little symbol in the grid, but make it where you don't lift the pin from the paper, so it's just one line. And you have to repeat it in each square of the grid. And it's to demonstrate how after a while your mind will take over, but then it can still make mistakes on it, on making the symbol. So
yeah. So what is your next project for design? Do you know?
Next project is proposal for scenic design for a one-act play.
Oh.
But it's all written out, so.
Like the assignment is, or you've already written it out?
No, the assignment is.
Okay. Alrighty. Is there anything else that you're working on?
No. So
what's on your needles? Are you looking at the translation?
Yeah.
Okay, you can tell us your thoughts on it after you read it all.
Okay.
I'll talk about my zigzag blanket while you're reading it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is my 10 stitch zigzag blanket, which is a free pattern by Frankie Brown. It's on US 4's 3.5 mil needles. I finished the 67th stripe this week, which means I'm 96% done with the blanket. I only have 3 stripes to go. So the 67th stripe was Ginger's hand-dyed sheepish sock in the Jesu Pre colorway, but I ran out. So I had to use a little bit of the Yarn Tree Silver Sparkle sock in the Dr. Donna colorway, which is fine. They coordinated pretty well. And then I've started the 68th stripe, and I'm going to be alternating 2 colorways. It's Neighborhood Fiber Co. Rustic Fingering Gradients in the shades of Fuchsia, color A and color D colorways. Yeah, so I think I'm going to alternate every 2 zigzags for the stripe. And I am right on track to finish very early on in Stash Dash, which is a annual along that the Knit Girls host. So, okay, would you like to talk to us about the translation?
The gendarmes are getting married. That's not what it says at all.
What does it
say? The gendarmes are treated, as in they left. But I don't know how it got that from that.
I was like, is there a word that's like similar and it thought that?
No.
Or is it because, I can't remember, did you accent?
I copied it directly from the actual French translation of the book.
Oh, okay.
No, I did not translate that myself.
Right. I was thinking, maybe there was an accent that like didn't get put on and that affected it, because sometimes that can happen. I was trying to attempt to fix my drop stitch while we were chatting about that. Okay, the next thing on my needles is the Dr. Hubs 2019 birthday socks. And this is my French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on Ravelry. It's on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles. And as I've spoken about in previous weeks, I'm doing these concurrently. I'm doing them on 9-inch circulars, and these awesome needle wranglers are from the Yarnistry project.
I thought it was just Yarnistry.
No, it's something. It's the something project. Oh, could you look back in show notes, because I think I linked to them like last week or the week before, because now that's going to bother me. So anyway, on the first sock, so here you go. If you want to know the colorways, go to my project page, because there's too many. There's 9 of them. So the first sock, I got the heel done and then started back in the round for the leg. And on the second sock, I have just started putting the heel in. I dropped my headphone out of my ear. Whoops. Okay. So, and no, they're not perfectly matchy-matchy, because some of it's self-striping, and so you get different points in the thing. So I am making good progress on these. I need to look and see how the Tempestry project.
I was about to tell you that.
It just popped into my head. The Tempestry project is where I got these cool needle wranglers. I need to look and see how tall I make his socks, because it's escaping my mind right now, but I've got notes about it. So, yeah. And he likes them. I was working on them yesterday, so. And then the final thing that I'm currently working on is My Favorite Murder Mystery Wrap, the sample for it. It's on US 2.5, 3 mil, and US 4, 3.5 millimeters in Suburban Stitcher sock in the Triflers Need Not Apply colorway. And I am on the final clue of the second panel. So I'm hoping in the next 2 to 3 days I can have it finished so that I can block it, because it's so long that I'm not going to be able to block it as one piece, because I'm going to have to block it on Dammy's bed so that Pink doesn't mess with it. So I'm going to have to do like I did for your birthday wrap and block half of it and then block the other half. Once they're joined, I'll block them. I'll just do only half of it, soak only half of it, pin that out and everything. And then have the photo shoot for it. And the kits, all the pre-orders are obviously over by now, but the kits are progressing. I've got the stitch markers. I know my t-shirt maker and yarn dyer are busy working on things, and we will get those kits out to you. I'll get the pattern up on Ravelry so that if you want to just buy the pattern, you can do that to knit along with your own yarn. So when you buy the pattern on Ravelry, or even if you bought a kit, what the pattern's going to give you, if you do it before May the 25th, is just going to be an informational sheet about it. And then the first clue will release on Saturday, the 25th of May. And that is all. So I think we're ready to move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
Yes, one. So here is this week's preemie hat. This is number 16 for the year, using my free top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. On US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarn, the purple is Lion Brand Heartland in the Hot Springs colorway, and the tan is Reynolds Playtime in the tan colorway. And I'm making hats right now for Clip for Babies, so they have to be at least 50% purple. And there's a link in the show notes that tells you more about Clip for Babies. So, yeah. So, and I decided, last week I talked about that chunky yarn I was using and how much it hurt my hands. I'm not going to make any more hats out of it because it was just too much on my hands. So I will give it to a friend's kiddos, because they love to do craft projects. So I'm sure they will come up with something amazing to utilize it for. So, all right, I think that's everything. So let's move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So, Dammy, we came and saw and conquered. No, not conquered. We came and saw
A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah, the preview performance of A Wrinkle in Time over at Seattle Pacific University. Because Dammy's working the box office, so she got comp tickets to the preview show, and I was just going to go, but then you were able to get a friend's ticket she wasn't using, so the Dr. Hubs was able to come too. So what did you think?
I thought it was really well done. I wasn't involved in any of backstage stuff, so I didn't really know what was going on, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I was interested in how they were going to pull it off because of, if you've read A Wrinkle in Time, you know that there's lots of interesting things. I'm dropping things. Lots of interesting things in the book that could be potentially more difficult to portray. And there's been 2 movies, at least. There was one recently, but I think there was an older one. I can't remember. Yeah. So I thought they did a really good job. What was the dog's name?
Fortinbras.
Okay, that's who. Daddy was, or Dr. Hubbs was like, I didn't see the dog listed in the program, but this was in the car on the way home, and the program was in the back seat. So I was like, I'm sure the dog's in there because I know a bunch of them did more than one role.
Yeah, so, no, she's my friend Abby.
She did a really good job, but we were cracking up. I was like, I bet her back feels really relaxed because she kept getting back scratches the whole show. But I was like, oh my gosh, her poor knees.
She had knee pads and wrist protectors.
Oh, did she? Okay. But still, just crawling around and jumping around and everything when you're on your hands and knees is difficult. So Dammy, the show actually starts today. Yes.
Yes.
So if they're local, tell them about the show, what they can do.
come see the show. You can call our box office or buy tickets online or buy tickets in person if you want. It runs this weekend and next weekend, and there are matinees on both Saturdays.
Yes. So if you're local, you should definitely go because it was pretty awesome. So, Dammy, if people have seen my social media in the last week, they may have noticed that I've been dropping headphones out of my ear and wearing some headbands that I got that are freaking awesome. So these are from Busy Bee Crafts, and I've got a link in the show notes, but there is the link. If you're interested in buying something from her, if you PM me, I have a referral code. Whoever contacts me first, I will give the referral code to get 15% off. So she's got lots of different styles of headbands. I got these really wide ones that then you can like fold down and make, see, so I don't have the full width of it right out there. And then it's got elastic at the back. And she's got lots of lovely fabrics and everything, and I'm totally in love with them. And yeah, they're awesome. So if you're looking for headbands, let me know. And if you're the first person, I will give you the referral link to save 15%. So on Friday, Dammy, I went out to Allen Knit Shop, which is, I'm trying to think how far it is. I don't even know. It's not super far from where we, from where we live. And the owner of the yarn shop has started dyeing her own yarn. So I got a skein to make a gift, a surprise gift for someone. So I'm not going to tell them what it is, but this is on her Kalispell sock base, which is 90% superwash Targhee, 10% nylon, 4 ounces, 466 yards, and the colorway is Outland.
Ooh.
Can you see that teal?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty, but then my friend Joanne, who I went to the yarn shop with, she works out there a couple days a week. She was actually knitting with this yarn, and I was like, sold, need a skein. It's perfect for the person. So I picked that up, and I will get started on it after I finish the Dr. Hub's birthday socks and my bestie Katie's husband's Jeremy's birthday socks. So that will be that. Okay, so as I've explained before, Dammy, if you are a fan of the My Favorite Murder podcast, the fans are called Murderinos, okay? If you knit and you're a fan of the My Favorite Murder podcast, you're a Knitterino. And there is a Knitterino group on Facebook, and it's linked in the show notes if you want to go join. But they were doing a fundraiser for In the Backlog, which is the same organization that I'm sending 20% of the proceeds of the kits and the individual pattern sales to. So they are helping states get the rape kits that are just sitting on shelves tested. So they were doing a fundraiser where you purchased a t-shirt and a portion of the proceeds went to In the Backlog. So it just came in. Let's see if I can show you. So it says, let's sit crooked and stitch straight. Now let me give you some context. So up until about 6 months ago, I think that's probably around the right time, they would record at Georgia's house. I believe it's at Georgia's house in the loft that they had that they called the pod loft, and it had couches in it. So Georgia and Karen would sit or lay on the couches when they recorded. And one episode, I don't remember when it is, but I have it written down because that's a clue. It's a hint that the thing that I'm about to tell you is one of the clues, part of one of the clues for the mystery wrap. But one of them said, let's sit crooked and talk straight, because they were sitting crooked on the couch. So then the Knitterino group changed it to let's sit crooked and stitch straight. So that just came in this week, and I'm very excited. Today's the first day I've worn it because I wanted to wait and show you on the podcast. I love it. The fundraiser is over, but they did one last year too with I believe the same shirt design. So they may do another one. So I had a mystery box come down me.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl, which I will tell you more about in upcoming events because I'm attending, they were doing these. They've been doing these mystery box giveaways on their Instagram account. And so I entered and was just like, okay, whatever. I won one of them. And it just arrived today in this lovely big box. So are you ready to see all the amazing things that we're in here? Because I'm like, you're looking weird.
No, I'm just ready to see what's in it.
Okay. So I'm ready to show you. I'm going to show you everything that's in it. And I was very surprised because I was expecting like maybe a skein of yarn and a stitch marker or something. No, way more than that. First up is this beautiful yarn.
Ooh.
It is from Woolly Winter Wonderland, Sun-Soaked Sister, Everything Earth, Fibers Colored by Nature. And the colorway is Blue Christmas Without You. So this is that yak sock base. It's 70% superwash merino wool, 20% yak, 10% nylon, 437 yards, 100 grams. It was hand dyed in the beautiful Pacific Northwest Washington, and it was dyed using berries, bugs, and veggies. I wish you could get because that's still not even, that's a little better. No, it's not, you're not getting the true color of it. That's a little better. It's a very greeny blue. So that was the first thing that was in it. Then there is a mini skein from MJ Yarns on their Simply Sock fingering base in the peacock colorway. Mm-hmm. It's even brighter than that though. This is a light fingering weight 3-ply. It's 75% Cordell wool, 25% nylon, 13 grams, 50 yards. So that's pretty. And then this is one of the yarn shops on the crawl, a little nitty, just like pouch. Oh, it's got a keychain on it. That's cool. And it's not all the way see-through, but you can like see some of it through. There is these adorable baby gift tags that you can attach to projects that you gift when you give baby gifts. So the front says Sweet Baby, handmade by, and it's a tag. And then on the back it says the fiber, and then it's got all the care things. You circled the right care instructions. And these are from Knitterella, and there's 6 of them in there. So especially if you're knitting for somebody who is not a knitter or crocheter, that would be a good idea to help them know how to care for it. And then I got a stitch marker from Rainy Day Yarns from the Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl 2018, the Yarnival. I think that was the fall one. And I'm not sure why, but it's a camel. With 2 humps. There's that. There is this, oh my gosh, wool and cashmere shampoo from the Laundress, New York in the cedar scent. It's for 1 hand wash or small machine load. I can't wait to smell it. And then there's still more. There is this box of, oh my gosh, Knotes. They're called Knotes. Note cards for the knitters in your life. So one of them is, there's 4 different designs. One of them is any day spent knitting is a good day. Then there's knitting fills my days, not to mention the living room, bedroom, and closets. I am happier and calmer when knitting, and knitting mends the soul. So there's 2 each of them. Are those cute? They're from Chowgu. does those. And then the final thing that has made the entire box smell so freaking awesome. This is goat milk soap from Valley View Farm. It is formulated with goat milk from their farm. It's in Cheney, Washington, Cheney, Cheney. And it is made with olive oil, coconut oil, palm oil, tallow, goat milk, lye, and cranberry almond fragrance. It is, and it's pretty too. Hold on, let me get it out. Isn't that beautiful? And it smells so good. It smells like Christmas. So that is everything that was in my rather large prize box. It was way more than I expected, like I said. So that was very kind and generous of them to send that. So it was fun to open that in the post. Okay, do we have any other yummies since I've just rambled on and on about all these things?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites on Instagram. And there's a bee trying to get in the window here. We can't do that.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's closed.
Oh, that's good. So April list that is coming to a close. The theme was numbers. I released the May list this week. The May theme is shapes, emotions, and other stuff. So.
Why can't every month be numbers? It makes it easy on me.
I know. Or letters of the alphabet. That's easy too. So, so what are we about to show, Dammy?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Those were our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. So it's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. For example, today when we're recording, the prompt is 25. You can interpret that however you want, cheater friendly. So, 25 stitches, 25 inches, 25 rows. Today's the 25th and this happened. Feel free to interpret however you wish. You take your photo, you post it on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGK Crafty Pad, and yours might get chosen. You can also, if your picture includes a cat, you can use hashtag GGK Kitty Pad as well as GGK Crafty Pad, and yours might get chosen. If you are participating in GGK Crafty Pad and you have a private account on Instagram, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you, because otherwise we can't see your photos. And I'll mention this. I don't think I've mentioned it in a while, but people don't always know about this. So if you go to our show notes, geekygirlsnet.com, there we put a post each month for GGK Crafty Pad. And we also put all of the prompts on Google Calendar, and you can subscribe to that calendar. The link is in the post on geekygirlsnet.com, and it will add it once you subscribe. I think it's in the lower right corner after you click the link to add it to your calendar, and you can have the prompt on your calendar for every day. So just throwing that out there in case people didn't know that we do that, because we do. It also helps me because then I can look at my calendar and be like, oh, today's prompt is circle or 25 or Z is 4 or whatever it is. So, okay, upcoming events I'll be attending. Surprisingly, the Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl. I have a thing here somewhere. Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl. That is next weekend, the 2nd through the 5th of May. I'm doing it on Friday unless something changes. So I'll be doing all the shops between 9 and 7 p.m. on Friday. I've already told the Dr. Hubs, who is going to be chauffeuring me unless things change, that we have to stop at yummy food places in Tacoma. So if you want to know more about the Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl, you can go to pnwyarncrawl.com and let me know if you're going, because if you're going on Friday, I might see you on the crawl. So, and then, yeah, that's all the events we have right now. So, all right, well, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
It's still kind of reading Dracula by Bram Stoker, but mostly homework readings.
Yeah. You're learning all kinds of interesting things.
Oh, yes.
Including French and math.
Oh, yes. We're on to the conditional tense in French, and then we still got one more to learn, the subjunctive. There are too many verb tenses.
I'm sorry. Tell the person who created the French language that there are too many.
Hey, God.
Oh, my goodness. And you're reading something else?
Yes, The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo.
Yes, and you're getting your 15 minutes a day in.
Oh, yeah.
What am I referring to?
The April, May, June RAL read-along.
Yes, so this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. And there is a finish line thread in our Ravelry group for the April, May, June read-along. All the instructions are there, and we'll do prizes at the beginning of July is when we'll do prizes. But then you will also earn entries into our year-long read-along, which will have 3 grand prize winners that we'll announce at the beginning of 2020. All the details are in our show notes and in the Ravelry group. If you have any questions, feel free to post there or PM us and let us know. Okay, I am reading The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Susan Stabile. I'm reading about Type 5, but I did not get it all completed. I'm also reading When the Heart Waits, Spiritual Direction for Life's Sacred Questions by Sue Monk Kidd. I'm almost done with this. I'm like I think there was like 4 sections maybe in the book with several chapters in each section, and I am about 95% sure that I'm in the final section. So I should have this finished by next week when we record. I'm continuing to reread Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is the 4th book in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, along with the Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and the Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. This last week, what was the chapter? Oh, Hagrid took Harry under the invisibility cloak to go see the dragons. And Harry and Hermione went to Hogsmeade together with Harry under the cloak and all the things like that. That was this chapter that I just read for this week. So this next chapter is the first. Is it challenge? No, they call it something different. The first
trial? I don't know.
Hold on, I can tell you.
No. Event?
The first task. The first task. I went to my podcast app and looked to see what the next Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast episode was. I finished reading book 1 of the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater.
Sure. Just go with it.
It's called The Raven Boys. That was really good, and I put a hold on the second book in the series. And then another series by her is called The Wolves of Mercy Falls. I read the first book, which is Shiver, and put a hold on the second book. These are both, I believe they're both YA, and they're kind of fantasy. They've got some fantasy elements, but they're not like full-on sci-fi things. So I finally was able to get my hands on book 15 of the In-Depth series by J.D. Robb. Because remember, I complained about the library having like the whole rest of the series except for book 15. So they interlibrary loaned it for me so that I could read it. So now I can move on in that because I couldn't skip it. I had to know what happened.
Yeah.
I finished book 8 of the A Magical Cats mystery series by Sophie Kelly. And then the book that I read this week that was just so amazing. The Bookman's Tale, a novel of obsession by Charlie Lovett. Now, he's the one that wrote the Jane Austen book that I read a couple weeks ago, maybe. And so this was written before that. And it's it does the same thing again, where it goes back into the 1800s, maybe. So the premise of it, without giving away spoilers, is this guy who is a book seller, collector, comes across this book that potentially will prove who Shakespeare really is once and for all, and that Shakespeare is not all these other people that people have suggested. But it goes back and forth between all of that and then not totally present day, but like the 90s, about this book collector and him falling in love and getting married and all that. So it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I actually finished that at about 1 o'clock this morning, because we got home from the show about 11:30 and I couldn't fall asleep. So I read. What we're watching, what I've been watching, watching TV. I watched 2 Hallmark movies. The first one, Easter Under Wraps, which apparently was the first Easter movie that Hallmark has ever done. And Morning Show Mysteries, Countdown to Murder.
Ooh.
I finished series 5 and 6 of Endeavor, which means I'm caught up. But there is going to be a series 7, so I'll just have to wait for that with everyone else. I finished season 1, and I'm watching season 2 of Midnight Texas, but I only have like 2 episodes left, which probably will get watched tonight. So I'll be done with that and have to have something new. Watching season 16 of NCIS. Gibbs got interrogated. He was in the seat, the hot seat. And we found out that he was engaged before 9/11, and he didn't ever tell the team. Who knew? Okay, season 5 of both NCIS New Orleans and The Flash. Season 14 of Supernatural. They convinced Jack to get in the box where he should have been like contained and not able to do bad things and use his powers, but he was able to use his powers and broke out of the box. And so they're like, crap. Now what? What do we do? Big Bang Theory season 12. Sheldon sang Soft Kitty to Amy. It was so sweet. So sweet. We watched the season 2 finale of Star Trek Discovery, and we discovered, watching Discovery, the reason why Spock never talked about having a sister. Because all the events around what happened were made secret, And if you told about it, you would be charged with treason.
Ooh.
So my question now, though, is spoilers, which we already gave you spoiler warnings. So if Discovery went now to the future, whenever in the future it went to, is the next season of the show going to go into the future with Discovery? Or my question was, or are they going to like follow Pike on, is it Pike or Pine? Pike, right?
Pike.
Chris Pine is in something Star Trek. Anyway, Captain Pike and Spock on Enterprise. But then I was reading an article, as one does, that said that the actor who played Captain Pike wasn't coming back for season 3. But there's talk of a spinoff about his time as the captain of the Enterprise. So my only guess is, since in none of the other Star Treks have we ever known about Discovery, that it just vanished, and it's never been talked about, is that we must be going to further in the future than we've ever been before to follow Discovery.
I don't know.
I am betting that is what's going to happen. So, and then watching season 4 of Blind Spot, season 6 of The Blacklist, season 10 of Trading Spaces, season 4 of Supergirl, and season 7 of Arrow. Things are starting to wrap up with season finales of shows coming up. So,
yeah.
And then listening to my favorite murder podcast. I listened to today's episode already. One of the murders was not actually a murder. It was more of a tragedy, but it was very sad. This hotel had built those walkways where you can see, you know what I'm saying, like connecting buildings. And if you want to know the whole story, you can go listen to their podcast. But essentially so there was 2 walkways, like I think they said like 2nd floor and 4th floor, and the plan originally was for them to have these 6 steel whatever bars down, connecting all the way through both bridges to hold it together. But somebody made and approved the change to have, I think the upper one secured up, but then had the lower one connected to the upper one. So the upper one is holding the weight of the lower one. And it collapsed, and lots of people died, and lots of people were injured, and it was very sad. Very sad. So I'm listening to the Murder Squad podcast, and this week they actually talked about the Golden State Killer, because it was the 1-year anniversary since the Golden State Killer was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So they talked about that and trying to find, knowing where he was at certain times, trying to see if they can connect other crimes and murders to him.
Mm-hmm.
And my headphone just died, so I will connect the other one when we finish this segment. David Tennant does a podcast with, had Michael Sheen on this week, which I didn't really know a whole lot about, but he was very interesting, and he is in the upcoming Good Omens with David Tennant, which comes out at the end of May, that I'm very excited about. What about you? What are you listening to?
Cabin Pressure and the cast album for Lema's 25th anniversary.
Yes. I had much confusion trying to link it up, because 25th anniversary. Huh?
Only one.
Well, no, the thing is, the part that said 25th anniversary on like the cover of the CD was in tiny print at the bottom.
Oh.
So I was like, I was about to text you and be like, help, what am I looking for? But then I found it. So, all right. I think that's everything for what we're reading, watching, and listening to. Yes? Yes. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May Sheepy Spring L. So this started on the 1st of March and it runs through the 31st of May. It is for any project that you can knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to spring. If you can't think of anything, you made it in the spring. That's fine.
Yes.
There are a couple main rules for this owl. The first is that no whips are allowed. So your project has to have been begun no earlier than the 1st of March and then finished no later than the 31st of May. And then each project of at least 20 yards that you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry. But if your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards.
Yes.
So feel free to poly dip in other alongs as long as it fits in with the other rules. That's totally fine, including the Great Podcaster Craft Together, which is linked in our show notes. We've got lots of lovely prizes on our screen right now. Thank you to our sponsors and people who donated them. If you would like to get closer looks at these prizes or see where they came from, you can go to our show notes at geekgirlsknit.com. And if you'd like to donate a prize, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
Next week is the first podcast of the month, so we'll talk about the prizes in detail next week on that episode. Because it'll be May next week.
It's gonna be May. So, you must be Okay. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. There's a hashtag if you'd like to tag your projects or post on social media. It is GGK Spring 19. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry where you all can talk to each other, discuss progress on your projects. That's where I give shout outs to people who have finished projects in a week, but I also do that here. So why don't I do that right now?
Go for it.
Docs Stitcher, Harps 57, Knit Central, Knit Live Love, Knit Princess 83, Katie Jane 82, Little Angel SG2, Little Mermaid, Mommy 2, Mystery Sewer, Original Sin, Phoenix Fire, Share 2014, Shirley Knits 123, Silver Luna 2112, S. Keeling, Stitch by Moonlight, Travel Socks, Wombat Knitter, and a Yarn Taxi Driver.
Great job, everybody. So keep working on this project. You've got a little over a month to go. Yes, a little over a month to go, and then you might be a prize winner. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes. What is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question comes from Jane, who is Janie B. from London. I love knitting socks. On holiday recently, I completed another pair for myself, taking my current sock order to 25 pairs. I often end up wearing my most recently finished socks most, yet I can see all my hand-knitted socks whenever I open the drawer. Made me think, do you wear your most recently finished socks most? What components create your favorite hand-knitted socks? Should I keep reading?
Yes.
Wearing hand-knitted socks makes me so happy. Plus, I love knowing those I care most about are wearing hand-knitted socks. My BFF loves ribbing or cables in his hand-knitted socks. My husband loves a textural pattern and higher calf height to hand-knitted socks. For myself, it is the interplay between yarn and pattern design.
Yes. Okay. So, Dammy, first question. Do you wear your most...
Why do I have to answer first?
Just because. Do you wear your most recently finished socks first? First or most?
I guess so.
I think I do. But I tend to pick which pair of socks I'm going to wear to try to color coordinate with whatever I'm wearing. But I've been wearing a lot of black and gray recently. So pretty much any socks go with it. So, but yeah, and then once I wear them, they get thrown in the bucket to be washed once there's enough, and then hand washed, and then hung on the drying rack. And then they just get put back in the drawer in random order. So, sometimes if it doesn't matter what color I wear, I'll just grab because I fold them like this and then stand them all stacking up next to each other. So if it doesn't matter, I'll grab the ones that are on the end just to keep them continuing to be stacked instead of falling over. Okay, what components create your favorite hand-knitted socks?
Being made by you, I guess.
You've knit socks for yourself.
Yeah.
But I knit probably more socks for you than you've knit for you.
Mm-hmm.
And 99% of the time, possibly even 100%, if I'm knitting socks for someone, I'm knitting plain vanilla socks because they are my zen place that I can just knit on them pretty much anywhere in any context without thinking about it. So I guess for me, what's more important is the yarn. I most like to knit self-striping socks, especially with a contrasting toe heel cuff so it doesn't break up the striping pattern. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And with self-striping socks, you're like, oh, I'm just going to knit one more color, just one more color, just one more color. But I design fairly intricate socks, with cables, texture, lace, whatever. But unless I'm knitting a sample of a design, really probably 99% of the time I'm knitting just plain vanilla socks. So, in fact, these are plain vanilla socks. And just the interesting factor is the fact that I'm using 9 different colorways to make these. They're all leftovers. And if we ask the Dr. Hubs, I was doing that.
All right, you ended on a sentence. Leftovers.
Okay. However, if you ask the Dr. Hubs, which I was supposed to do this morning and we both forgot about to record it, every time I give him a new pair, he's like, these are my favorite. And I'm like, they're all your favorite. He's like, yeah, because you knit them. And I'm like, well, favorite is like, these are my favorite socks, not these are my favorite socks. So when I give him these for his birthday, these will be his favorite socks. So I like to play with the yarn. I love self-striping. I like variegated, especially if it's got a really unique pooling. Some people don't like their yarn to pool, but I love it. I think it's so pretty to see the yarn pool in different ways. So it's probably pretty rare that I knit a solid or semi-solid or tonal yarn for socks.
Yeah.
Usually I want either self-striping or variegated so that it does fun things. So there you go. I also like mismatched socks where the toe heel cuff yarn for one sock is the main one for the other sock and then flip-flop it. Like my where the pumpkin spice socks. That's fun too if you don't have enough of either of the colorways to do a full pair, but you have enough for one sock. So you can just mix and match them and you'll have enough for both. So, yeah. So let's put this question out in the episode thread on Ravelry this week. Do you wear your most recently finished socks the most? And what components create your favorite hand-knitted socks? Thank you so much to Jane for asking the question. Dammy, if somebody's got a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
So I have a question that I want to talk about on the podcast and have other people respond to it. Can I ask my own question in Ask the Geeky Girls next week?
Sure.
You're going to have to say, Cece, who is Java Pearl from...
I will not say that.
Bremerton, Washington, asked.
I will not say that.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. So if you have a question, go ask us, and we will answer it. I know there's not been a single question we haven't been willing to answer. So go post it. Ask us anything. We're happy to answer. Okay. Let's move on to the next segment. Yay, we made it to the end of the show.
Yeah.
So we have some winners to announce, Dammy, because the Lolo Bar by the Barmaids giveaway has come to an end. So bar-maids.com if you want to get something if you're not a winner. So we are going to have 3 prize winners. The first 2 winners are winning identical things, except for I think that it's the small body bar, the small head-to-toe moisturizer bar. I think those are different scents. Mm-hmm. And so I will just, when the prize winner contacts me, I'll just grab one and then give the other one to the other person. So if you are a prize winner, you need to PM me, Java Pearl on Ravelry, with your full name and mailing address, including zip code, postal code, because a couple of our winners are international this time. And you will have 30 days to claim your prize, or you will forfeit it. And I might seal it. No, it'll go in the prize box, and we will use it on another giveaway. So, yeah, Dammy, the first 2 prize winners that we have are each going to win. I'm trying to tie this into the knot because I don't want it to get lost inside the thing. So 2 of the winners are going to win. This other one's not tied. I don't guess any of them are tied. Now I'm going to have to tie them all. 2 of the winners are going to win a bag that has a deodorant, a to-go size Lolo bar, a trial size Lolo lips, and a trial size face pudding. So just before we recorded, I locked the the giveaway thread, asked Siri for random numbers. The Dr. Hubs tried to guess what the random number was going to be. It was all very funny. He didn't get any of them, I don't think. Who are the 2 prize winners, Dammy?
Post number 22, Charlotte M. Hayes, and number 31, Shirley Knits 123.
Yay, congrats Charlotte M. Hayes and Shirley Knits 123. The other prize winner is going to win a body size Lolo bar and a bar of Come Clean soap. And the winner for that one, Dammy, is...
Oh, I'm sorry, there's a dog outside. Number 14, Knit, Live, Love.
Congratulations. So, Charlotte M. Hayes, Shirley Knits 123, and Knit, Live, Love. PM me, Java Pearl on Ravelry. Give me your full name and mailing address, and I will get your prizes out in the post to you as soon as possible. So, and again, thank you to Lolo Bar by the Barmaids for sending us giveaway stuff. I love their stuff. It's amazing. So, all right, Dammy, do we have any other announcements that you can think of?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, we'd like to say a humongous thank you. We love you guys. To everyone who supports the podcast, no matter how it is you do it, watching it like you're doing right now, commenting in the Ravelry group, commenting on YouTube, participating in the alongs, the read-alongs, the seasonal alongs, asking questions, just being the awesome, amazing you. But especially a big thank you to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to do a podcast, such as shipping out these prizes. And 2 of the prize winners are international, and international postage is a significant amount. So
ridiculous.
So yeah, and then technology and just all kinds of stuff like that. So thank you so much to those of you who support us financially. There are 3 main ways you can do that. First is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. Dammy, if somebody wants to know more about this or wants to sign up, where do they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
And we are Amazon.com, .co.uk, and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our website first, look in the sidebar or at the bottom of each episode post, the show notes, the bottom of the show notes. Words were just escaping me. I didn't get enough sleep last night. And click on your appropriate Amazon and then do your shopping as normal, and we will get a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. So, Dammy, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we're online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
Etc. Etc. Well, with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely rest of your week. We hope that you might be having a beautiful spring days where you can spend some time outside. Yesterday when we went to SPU, there were lots of students outside under trees and in the grass just sitting and studying and reading and spending time with friends, and so that was really awesome. So, happy knitting, crocheting, weaving, spinning, and whatever other crafts you do. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Did you hear her?
I thought that was your computer.
No, it was her.
Hi, baby.
Look, there's your Dammy.
What'd you see?
There's all kinds of stuff on my table, Dammy. She was sound asleep. I woke her up.
She doesn't look sound asleep still.
She's just kind of staring. Look at your Dammy.
Baby.
Look at your Dammy. She was very sad that she didn't get to come with us to see the play yesterday. She probably would have been very good friends with the dog.
Yeah.
On the dog in the show. Yeah? Would you have liked that? Would you like to go be in a play with Dammy?
I think she just rolled her eyes.
She did. Or she's being bashful, one of the two. Would you like to go be in a play with Dammy? Maybe. Hey.
Yeah, that's what she thinks of my career choice.
Yeah, we're not done. So this morning, the Dr. Hubs was holding her like a baby, and I was giving her belly rubs, and I stuck my face in her belly, and she kicked me away with her back legs.
B, you can't come in here. Think that was mean.
Oh.
Pink, can you control a puppet?
Meow, meow, no.
You want to try?
Meow, meow, no. There were 3 people in that one big scary puppet. I thought there was only 2 at first, but there were 3.
Yeah, 3.
And then the guy with the scary red eyes.
Mm.
So the guy who had the red hair,
Mm-hmm.
who dyed it, did he say I'll dye it because he didn't want a wig, or did they ask him to dye it, or do you know?
I'm pretty sure they asked him to dye it and then did it themselves because I don't think they have wigs that short.
Oh. Okay.
I think most of our wigs are women's.
Okay. Yeah. And it's just hair, it'll grow out. That's right, it's just hair, it'll grow out. Yeah? Yeah? Do you want to go back to your nap? Okay, I'm gonna eat it.
Oh my God.
She was done. Oh, she's shaking me off. Oh, how dare you, Mama. The Dr. Hubs went and bought a bag of wood pellets, which is what we use for litter for her. And he hasn't dumped it in the 5-gallon bucket yet that we keep it in. And so it's just sitting, and she's like sniffing it like, I'm confused. Why is this out here? It's normally in my litter box.
Mhm.
So she's a funny kitty. Funny, funny baby. So, all right. I love you.
Mhm.
We love y'all too. Bye.